It's time to get this sixth round of the championship underway at the Pirelli Grand Prix of Mosport, presented by Optima Batteries. There's the signal once again. We are within 5 seconds to the launch. The wheel and lights will come on. As always, when they go out, we go racing. Skeen looking to control it again, but this time he's got Pat Long alongside. There we go, lights out, we're underway. Oh, onto the grass goes one of the machines. Skeen, look at Long, fighting for it around the outside, Cal.
He's trying to get to the inside for the upcoming round two, but Skeen squeezes him there, just chopped him. We saw yesterday Skeen was awesome on the opening lap.
That's O'Connell slotting right there into third, Sofronis in fourth, Pilgrim in the second Cadillac into fifth, Tony Gaples in sixth, Doscolo seventh as they head in, and then Alex Figge in that new body style Volvo from K-Pax Racing. Great to see him on board here. Meanwhile, we hop on board with Johnny O'Connell.
Look at him, he's so smooth behind the wheel. He loves this racetrack, one of his favorites. But right now he's got two of his main arch enemies right in front of him in this series anyway. Pat Long he's raced against many times before, and yesterday, as he said, I hated following that yellow Corvette.
It's going to be interesting to see. You talked about the speed Long found. Sofronis up the ante a little bit too here. So obviously those Porsches coming alive just a little bit with some changes on the car, but already Skeen easing away on this long climb up the Andretti straightaway.
And some of that is cars, certainly. The CRP team and Nick Short there have done a brilliant job with this Corvette, but also a driver on cold tires. That's when he can really put the hammer down and make a difference.
And there's a look at our GTS battle. You just saw Crosland all over the back of the 50 of Paul Brown, the Tiger Ray. Look at that car moving. Talk about cold tires, and Brown is driving the wheels off that K&N Filters machine.
Yeah, and Crosland is really putting the pressure on. He's got a lot of momentum right now, a lot of confidence behind the wheel of that machine.
This is not the comfortable run of sorts that Skeen had yesterday. Pat Long is driving, as you would suspect, brilliantly. Look at Skeen just trying to figure out anything. Oh, so close in touring cars.
That's right. You've got Aschenbach and Raponi there battling it out. Meanwhile, Herbert's up front right there, so that's the top three in touring car at the same time.
Just incredible action. You've got the class leaders in two different classes, and they are absolutely at full chat in each of their own battles, dealing with other traffic as well. It's incredible. There goes Long, sneaking by now Tristan Herbert and getting clear of that touring car lead battle, but he did lose some touch, didn't he?
He did, and Aschenbach in the meantime got around Raponi, so he now runs second in touring car.
And there is Long, and then you can see the margin now back to O'Connell. Right now, really in a rather lonely third, except for the other class traffic. Look at that, we're getting a couple of spots on that camera lens.
Yeah, we talked about at the beginning of this show, weather is in the area. We could see some rain before the end of this one, but that battle in touring car is definitely heating up. In the back of the camera, coming up that long back straightaway, Aschenbach was getting really close.
Watching these two as they feed through that 10th turn onto the short front straight, the pit straight here, and then start falling away down into that roller coaster ride, down through 2, up into 3, back down into 4, up into 5. And Long trying to find a way to close up on Mike Skeen here. Once Mike gets that break, he really seems to be able to control these. We're on board with Aschenbach, and this is the leader. Again, that's an absolute deja vu moment from yesterday, just a different car he passed, but even the same color.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's so confident with that move. He did it yesterday. It was a little bit closer today, but he still makes it stick.
Oh, there's contact! That's Gary Kwok in the Honda Civic. Oh, backs in hard, Cal.
Yeah, I think Eric Meyer is really looking, where do I defend this position? He stays to the inside, Kwok's to the outside. Eric drifted up a little bit there, got off the curbing just a little bit. Let's take a look from Kwok's on board. GT car right in front, he goes down. I think he left him a lane, Greg, I'd have to say, but it was tight.
It was tight. That's a tough place, obviously, for that to happen. That's the team car to Anthony Raponi, the Durabond entry, so tough break for them, but Raponi continues to run strong. And meanwhile now, jump up to the GTS battle on board with Ben Crosland.
Yeah, this is another young man who has so much confidence going right now. He's really had a great string of results, including the big win here yesterday. He's trying to chase down this man, Paul Brown, our leader currently.
And there's the good news. Kwok is out of the car and okay. There's a sigh of relief. 2/3 of the way through this sixth round of the Pirelli World Challenge Championships, the Pirelli Grand Prix of Mosport, presented by Optima Batteries. And there is Pat Long as he continues to try and find an answer to the just, at this point, uncontrollable pace of Mike Skeen. Boy, he's got it covered.
He really does. Those Corvettes have been so strong here this weekend, but for Pat Long, I'm sure he'll feel a lot better than he did here yesterday, where he finished P6. Right now running second. Good strong points, and Sofronis a little bit further back.
On board with Johnny O'Connell, again, kind of a lonely third at this stage of the race. Had that great second place yesterday. Just no answer right now for Skeen nor Long in this one as they come working up. There is Mike Skeen up through Moss Hairpin once again in his key launch. Boy, he picks up the throttle so early there, doesn't he? You can hear it.
He just kept it really nice and clean, just a good smooth run. He's dealt with traffic really, really well, and he's kept that buffer we talked about. He hasn't had a lot of pressure from Pat Long, and that really makes the task so much simpler than having someone right on your tail and having to deal with traffic at the same time.
As he disappears up the Andretti straight, we hop on board with Lawson Aschenbach, who is currently leading in the touring car class. Got the win yesterday, like Skeen, going for a potential sweep here. And boy, that sweep when it's the team's home track, you love to see that. Meanwhile, look at the battling going on here. That is Brett Sandberg.
Yeah, this could be a Compass 360 1-2 here today. He's looking really good right now.
On board with Anthony Rapone in that Team Durabond entry to Gary Quacks, who had the incident, and a big move, boom!
That was super aggressive there.
Wow.
That is not going to work. Just in there way too deep. Sandberg was committed to the apex, and that was a big hit.
Boy, absolutely, and I mean, he just got nerfed out of the way, quite honestly, there.
You've got to feel, if you're going to make that move, you have to literally feel your way down there. Look at this, he just commits from way back, dives it down at the inside, nowhere to go, uses a bit of the curb, launches it, but you have to feel that move out. You have to slide from underneath the other car, the rear bumper there, and he just overly committed. Look at this.
Trying to push his mirror back.
That's wild.
Well, it's good to be flexible, I guess, when you're a driver. Little gymnastic history can't hurt. That's unbelievable what he did right there. And again, in his defense, Sandberg did fade. Oh, and a huge off. That is Herbert. Herbert at the apex at turn 9. Sandberg has gone around as well.
Look at this.
Jakubowski is off.
Oh, there's got to be oil down, Greg, because there is cars spinning everywhere, and it's not an avoidance for the crash. There is something down on the racetrack.
Unbelievable. You wonder if maybe when Herbert and Sandberg got together, if something didn't pop on Herbert's car.
On board with Rapone there, and there you see.
What a save.
Yeah, that was a save. There you saw Herbert crash pretty hard. Look at that. Working the wheel, but to no avail. He's hard into the tires, and like you said, he took that big hit down at Moss. Maybe he loosened up an oil line or something.
And sadly, Sandberg, who was in it with him down there, gets caught up in this again. You see Jakubowski off in the background. One of the VWs goes slicing off. And Skeen, and that is your, well, there you go, your GT and your touring car class leaders right now running line astern up the long Andretti straightaway once again. And you can see there's the debris flag, Cal.
Yeah, they got the debris flag. I'm sure the crews are on the radio to these two boys saying, look up ahead, turn 8, turn 9, there's going to be oil down. Be very, very careful. And Skeen has a massive lead. He can afford to tiptoe through this area of the racetrack.
There he comes into that suspect area right now.
Not going that slow, actually. He's got to be careful because right there is where the problem area is. There you see, tucks it to the inside.
Looked like he ran nice and wide to the apex, so he may have spotted where that was and was able to get around it.
That's the good news. The bad news is he's going to have Pat Long all over him here for the restart.
Well, you bet. We are full course caution, and apparently it is because we're getting reports there is a solid line of oil out there, and that's a big problem indeed. Not enough you can just cover it with a local surface flag, so we're under a full course caution at this point here at Mosport for the 6th round of the championships. And here's how it stands right now. Skeen, Long, O'Connell, and Sofronis. In the GTS, it is all Mustangs in the top 4 at this point. And taking a look at touring car, lots of changing. Aschenbach, Rapone with that great save, Sandberg, and Meyer. We continue to run under full course caution here at the Pirelli Grand Prix of Mosport, presented by Optima Batteries, the 6th round of the championship, second of the doubleheaders here. And Cal, it's going to be a white flag and a checker. We're going to finish this one under caution.
Hate to see that happen. Yeah. We can see the carnage there as the cars are now flatbedded back to the paddock area. But for Mike Skeen, what a weekend. Winning 2 in a row and in dominant fashion. Johnny O, second podium of the weekend. He'll be happy.
And keep in mind, Aschenbach's going to sweep as well, so that's a good one. And this should give Paul Brown the victory. And you can see James Sofronis sitting back there, a little bit of a wiggle. Is he thinking maybe I'm going to have a restart?
Yeah. Scrubbing those tires off possibly. Hopefully there's not a bigger issue with that race car. But there you see the damage to the Mustang right front suspension.
And here we go, last time through turns 9 and 10 and on to that front straight. A checker flag awaits. And I got to tell you, for Anthony Raponi, his first ever weekend at World Challenge, 2 second-place finishes. You can see that.
See Sofronis. Where is Sofronis? He should have been right there in the mix there. We saw him weaving around on that last lap. So
he had a 5th set. Here's the checker.
He was our championship leader coming in. Skeen wins it, but where is our championship leader, Sofronis, right now?
There's Long. There's O'Connell. There's Desclos Pilgrim. There's Sofronis, and he's something's gone wrong, Cal.
Yeah, he's lost a couple of spots there, which you're not allowed to pass under the caution laps, but it looks like he may have come to a standstill or crawling along there to see the stripe.
Unbelievable. If that is indeed the course, boy, just to see him finish is going to be. Look at Paul Brown lighting him up and having some fun, and deservedly so. And in touring cars, what a weekend for Anthony Raponi. 2 seconds to the champion. And I'll tell you what, I think we're going to have to start calling him the Thrill from Thornhill. Boy, he has put together a great run. And speaking of the champion, there he is, Lawson Aschenbach sweeping the weekend, Cal.
Yeah, the Civic SIs were really strong here.
For Calvin Fish and for Jim Martin, of course, I'm Greg Kramer. Thanks so much for joining us here, and we look forward to seeing you at Mid-Ohio. And until then, take care, everyone.